Simon and Garfunkel. 1 year and a chain of folk rock hits later, the pop tunes by 1950s teen idols Tom and Jerry reappeared in a package decorated with the grown-up Simon and Garfunkel's poet rocker frowns. And this was a big problem. Tom and Jerry had been light-footed teen idols whose central, nay, sole concerns involved girls, school, the joys of the former, the hassles of the latter, and the travails of both. They were the boys every mother wanted her daughter to bring home. But a decade later, Simon and Garfunkel were stylish folk singers whose melancholic songs surveyed the internal geographies of post-adolescent malaise, social disconnection, and the euphoria that grabs you when the sun shines and you're rapping with lampposts and feeling groovy. So how could Prosen have compiled those ridiculous high school songs, slapped a recent photo on the cover, and called it Simon and Garfunkel's latest album? Outraged by the potential damage the bogus album could cause their reputations and fortunes, Paul and Artie had summoned their attorneys and gone on the attack. The argument boiled down to this. While the original contract the adolescent Paul and Artie and their parents had signed with Prosen in 1957 did grant the executive the right to use their master recordings in any fashion he chose, nothing in the deal gave him the right to advertise the work as the product of Paul Simon and Arthur Garfunkel. Back when they signed, Paul and Artie were unknown high schoolers who were thrilled to get any attention whatsoever. If Tom and Jerry was a more marketable handle than Artie and Paul, then so be it. Pop stars always changed their names. Yet when their debut record made a splash, virtually every feature written about the teen duo, in newspapers ranging from the Forest Hills High School Beacon to the New York World Telegram and Sun to the Long Island Star Journal, revealed some combination of the boys' real names, the names of their parents, and the exact name and location of their high school. And they were thrilled. They wanted everyone to know who they were and that they were now pop stars. It was the greatest thing that had ever happened to them. Or so it seemed until late 1965, when the older and more sophisticated pair hit the top of Billboard's Hot 100 with The Sound of Silence. In the era of Dylan and Descent, when musicians who mattered were expected to be not just artists, but also activists, generational spokesmen, and something like sages, a song like Hey Schoolgirl could be a career ender. In their complaint to the New York State Supreme Court, their statements are a pastiche of Rage, Legalese, and Blanche Dubois. The belated appearance of the Tom and Jerry album was a moral, ethical, and economic travesty. Unfair competition, unlawful trade, a violation of privacy, an unlawful appropriation of the plaintiff's duly established trade name, Simon and Garfunkel. The affidavit puts the quotation marks around Simon and Garfunkel, emphasizing that their surnames constitute a duly established trade name. An attorney for Prosen's side responded, "I know of no precedent in which one would call his own legal family name an assumed name." As Prosen had learned in 1958, and as future defendants and/or aspiring plaintiffs would later discover, Paul Simon wouldn't stand for anything that struck him as a violation of his personal, professional, or economic property. He drew lines and constructed barricades around himself, particularly when it came to defining who he was. So Paul wanted everyone to get this straight. Even if Paul and Artie had been Tom and Jerry had never really been Paul and Artie. And there were others, too. True Taylor, Paul Kane. The existence and the limitations of Paul's alter egos would be courtroom fodder for many years. This time, the court would rule quickly in Simon and Garfunkel's favor.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.